Welcome, here it is, Tuesday time, week 21. That is hard to believe. I know I keep saying that at the beginning of every week, but it is hard to believe. I'm so glad. We're doing 10 words a week. That means we're 200 words into our expanded vocabulary. And that is remarkable. That's something to be proud of. But let's go ahead and start up. This week's words, I know they're late. Should be in time, though. Good luck. We're not going to have the quiz until a little later this week, so it should work out. We have enigma, reprehensible, blatant, plausible, fatuous, lexicon, oxidize, vortex, angst, and dilettante. Some good ones this week. Enigma. An enigma is a noun. It's a person or thing that's mysterious, puzzling, difficult to understand. It's something that's not just confusing, but it may be confusing, but it's more that you don't know what's going on. Something that, think of a wrapped present. What the thing is inside is an enigma, because you don't know what it is. It could be anything. You're not real sure. Now, that picture on the right of the screen there, that's a person who calls themselves the Enigma, who works in a freak show. That's a real thing. I'm not making that up. They put needles to their tongue and stuff. It's pretty outrageous stuff. Blame Miss Douglas for putting that in here. Now, it can also be used as an adjective in the form of enigmatic. Someone or something that's enigmatic is hard to understand or figure out. It's a little hidden away. Reprehensible, this is an adjective. If something's reprehensible, it deserves censure, meaning you're trying to quiet it down and make it go away, or condemnation, you have to speak out against it. These are usually for actions or words someone says they're trying to drive other people to action. If they say something reprehensible, that means you need to come out and say, no, that is wrong. Let's not have examples here, because you can figure out what something reprehensible would be. It's something someone does or says that's terrible, all right? And there's something intentional about this. Accidents don't tend to be reprehensible because they're accidental. If it's reprehensible, they did it on purpose, it wasn't a good thing to do. They may have done it blatantly. Blatant is an adjective. It's talking about bad behaviors. You describe a bad behavior as blatant if it's done openly and without any kind of shyness or shame. So think of someone in class who's cheating on a test and they just have the answers written on their hand. They are blatantly cheating, right? Someone who is being blatantly rude tells you to your face, hey, heck with you, bub, or whatever. That's blatantly rude. It's not just bad behavior. They're openly doing it. It's not a secret or anything. Next, we have plausible. If something's plausible, you're describing a statement or an argument that seems like it makes sense. It seems probable. Like, you know what? That seems plausible. If I said, here's my idea for how to make it so we have more school spirit, I'm going to say we have dances every week after it's during lunch, Wednesdays in the quad. I think that's going to make people happy and we're all going to be more friends, and if you wear the school colors, you get lunch for free for the rest of the week. You go, you know what, that's plausible. That might work. By the way, I'm not suggesting we do that. I just made it up off the top of my head. All right, if something is fatuous, it's silly and it's pointless. This isn't silly like a nice thing to say. This is silly as in, no. So a fatuous argument, someone can have a plausible argument and they can have a fatuous one. You go, no, come on. Don't even waste my time with this fatuous nonsense, right? Don't tell me the way to increase school spirit is by giving everyone more Jell-O. Come on. That's a fatuous argument. That doesn't make sense. That's pointless. Don't say it. All right, your lexicon. Lexicon is a noun. The lexicon is the vocabulary. It's the group of words that a person has, or that a job has, that a branch of knowledge or a language has, that are essential for understanding that thing, right? So English class has a certain lexicon, metaphor, simile, whatever. Science class has its own lexicon. There's a science lexicon where you learn about mitochondria and mitosis or cosmos or whatever. Math class has its own lexicon. Polynomials. Clearly it's not part of my lexicon to understand math. I tried though. I actually really like math. I find it really interesting. I wish I had studied it harder in high school because it's really important. I actually find it really interesting stuff. All right, moving on. Oxidize. Oxidize is a verb. It's to combine or to become combined chemically on a molecular level with oxygen. Now you see oxidization all the time. That'd be the noun form of it. Rust is metal, is specifically iron that has been oxidized, right? Copper also gets oxidized, and it's a rust-like process, but it turns green. We call that a patina. If you've ever cut an apple, and put it in your lunch, right? You put the apple slices in the bag, and then when you open it up, the apples have turned brown. That's because they have oxidized. Incidentally, if you want your apples not to turn brown in your lunch, put just a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of water. Put the apples through that, and the citric acid will combat that oxidization, which is kind of interesting. All right, a vortex. Vortex is a noun. It's a mass of whirling fluid or air. Think about whirlpools or a whirlwind or a tornado. You know, if you take a bath and you drain the bathtub, there's that swirl where you can almost like stick your finger in the water, but it's not in the water because it's in the vortex as it all swirls around in there. That's a vortex, all right? Now, people do use it when talking about the literal thing, but they also use it metaphorically to talk about something that's crazy and out of control and whirling around them. Right? Things say, oh my God, I feel like I'm stuck in the vortex. They're saying they're in some big, whirling, powerful thing that they have no control over. Angst. Teenagers are very aware of angst. Angst is a noun. It's the feeling you get of deep anxiety and dread. Now, typically, it's about not just humans and your feelings on yourself, but it's a bigger thing. It's the state of the world in general. It's, oh my God, everything sucks. Everything's bad. That person has a lot of angst. Teenagers tend to have a lot of angst. Everything's rotten. The world's falling apart. Now, we use that as an adjective when we say angsty. I'm not sure that's exactly an official adjective. We just kind of threw a Y on the end of it, and people do say it. Just feeling angsty. I don't know, man. Everything stinks. All right, now, a dilettante. This is maybe my least favorite thing to be called. Now, that's not an invitation to you to call me this. I'm just saying that this is something that I personally take a lot of offense to when people say it. A dilettante is a person who cultivates an area of interest, but they don't commit to it. So they know a little bit about something. They know just enough to begin to sound like they know what they're talking about, but they really don't know what they're talking about. You'll run into this person at parties. You'll mention a topic and they go, oh, well, and they'll name one fact, and it's the only fact they have on it, and then they're useless for the rest of the conversation, but they like to pretend they know a lot. Dilettante is someone who pretends to know a lot about a lot of things, but really they know a little tiny amount about lots of stuff. It's a real phony kind of thing. If someone calls you a dilettante, that is a massive insult. You don't want to be called a dilettante because they're basically a poser. They're an intellectual poser. That's how I would think of as a dilettante. Now, the idiom of the week, my way or the highway. If people don't do what they say, what you say rather, they gotta leave. It's my way or it's the highway. Meaning you can do what I want or you can leave. You can take the highway towards somewhere else. I'm sure you've heard that one before. Parents love this one and all children hate it. Well, there they are. It's the words of the week. It's the idiom of the week. I'm the idiot of the week. Just as long as I'm not the dilettante of the week. That's all I really care about. All right. Good luck.